Not current interview itself, but the analytical part is actually the most important part of the civil service interview and the way UPSC conducts the interview program. Most of the major part of the applicant is assessed on the basis of which how they give answer to the tricky questions which are thrown at them. So some little question is always possible from the current situations which are going on, because that's a very easy and a very expected thing to ask. So to put the candidate at ease and to warm up kind of a thing, current questions are asked. But the crux of the thing lies in the being analytical, and then suppose your opinion is asked. So rather than giving a emotional answer or a very sweeping answer, you go by the pros and cons or the strengths and weaknesses of that issue, and then in the end come to a conclusion and give a answer which is full of hope. So for example, suppose you are asked that what do you think about demonetization? Okay, so your answer should be a little bit of background. So I'll try that answer for the youngsters. You say that for a government which came to power and a sweeping power on the basis of anti-corruption plan, it was expected that they take some visible action against corruption. And along with the feedback that there is rampant fake currency notes and also wide cash economy going on. So it was thought that this should be the right thing to do at this stage of the economy. And when this effort was done, then that time question was before the government was whether they keep it secret or they ponder all the issues and do a very thorough thing. So government decided to go for secrecy and keeping it confidential till the last moment. And in the process, some little problem here and there was left unattended. Like the note of the new notes which are coming up were smaller in size than the earlier notes. So they were not fitting into the ATM slots. And since this thing was not anticipated earlier, no warning was given, so it took some time for the new slots to be made for the ATMs, and that caused some harassment, some little problem for the people who wanted to withdraw cash. So, but in the overall, if you look at the impact, then it had a very saluting effect in removing the fake currency, which was flowing in from the neighboring countries and troubling our economy. Also, it has given a huge boost, which is being recognized by other countries also, to UPI and the digital transactions. It had a very salutary effect on the tax collection process, which is itself is digitized, and now all transactions are being monitored and the 360-degree profiling done. So all informations come. Since the taxman also knows what is going on, what is shown, and all connected through the Aadhaar platform and the banking FIU. So very less random questions are also being asked from the general public. So saving lots of harassment to the general public, because the taxman already knows the whole picture and so doesn't ask you stray questions. In the end, if you look at the whole thing, then it was a very beneficial exercise, and whatever little problem was there has been recorded, noted by the government, and we all hope that in future, whenever such an exercise is done again, the lessons learned from this one will be used and we will do even a better thing. So if you look at my answer, I have given the pros, the benefits of the effort. I also narrated whatever little problems were there on the other side, and then in the end concluding it with hope that we will do better, will move ahead, the country will go forward. So this is the basic format for any opinion being asked from you. Most of the candidates are assessed on the basis of how do they handle these tricky questions. There are no exact right or exact wrongs. There's no perfect answer for these questions, and it's the way the youngsters handle this kind of a googly questions. I call them jokingly. They are assessed at how good or how the scoring will be. So this is the way it should be. Another suggestion I like to make is that somewhere in your answer, if you can practice and if naturally your faith in the Constitution, your love for the nation, your hope for nation building and that the country will go forward, and that how UPSC is probably the one of the few institutions about whose not even a doubt has ever been raised in this entire thing, when every other institution was attacked by the youngsters or doubted that about their integrity or whether they are fair or this one temple of democracy has remained spotless. So whenever I pass through Shahjahan Road, I look at that building and the people who make that institution with lots of respect. We do this coaching for the youngsters in Sankalp here, and youngsters come from all over the country. So states where their own public service commissions are not very fair or don't have good reputations, they also come to UPSC exam with the hope कि यहाँ पर तो जो भी होगा फिर वो ईमानदारी से होगा. Not even a doubt has ever been raised about these institutions. So hats off to them and a huge compliment to them. But showing positivity, showing that they want to change something for the poor and the downtrodden, what we call अंत्योदय, कि सबसे गरीब के लिए कुछ करेंगे और कुछ करने की तमन्ना है, देश को आगे ले जाने की तमन्ना है, लोगों की सेवा करने की तमन्ना है. ये अगर आप अपनी जवाब में कहीं झलकेगा, और अगर अंदर होगा तो जरूर झलकेगा, पैशन दिखेगा कुछ करने का, बदलने का. So I personally feel that if I am in the interview board, will love to have such a youngster in the civil service.